Hi,
Hi, Heather.
how are you?
Oh, are
Can you
you
hear me?
talking? No.
Yes, I am. No, you can't? Okay.
Oh, no, no, no. I can hear you now. I just had to
Oh,
turn
good.
it up.
Or I could just start shouting. I mean, either one.
Yeah. Or you could move your lips and then gaslight me and not really be saying anything. That would be ugly. Okay.
I mean, we are being recorded, so
Oh,
this would go on record, but we could do that
oh.
to every
I
other
was I
person who
was
comes in.
kidding.
No,
Just
I was saying
kidding.
we
Just
could do it to
kidding.
every other person who comes
Yeah.
into the meeting.
So if it ever happens, they'll blame me because it's been recorded that I would said that.
That's right. You've gone on record saying you would play a prank.
Oh well, they probably blame me anyway.
That's not true.
With all the trouble I've caused on things.
You you
Yeah,
do not.
I could give you examples, and that's been recorded too. So yeah. Yeah. So all right.
How's
How
your
many?
day going?
Oh, all right. It's
Good.
only 30 degrees going down to terribleness over the weekend. I can't wait for that. It's not even winter yet.
It is. I think it's proper winter at this
No,
point.
that's not. No, the first day of winter is the 21st.
Meteorological winter. I mean, you've had snow already.
Yeah. I'm just looking at my calendar. That's what it says. I
Did
know.
did you have to close for the snow last week?
I think we closed early.
Yeah.
Like that was Monday. Wasn't Monday the bad? Yeah, I think we closed at 5 or something. But
Okay.
yeah, yeah, it wasn't bad. But people always go crazy, on the first snow. They forget what it was
Well, you
like
forget
last.
how to drive. Yeah, driving in snow and ice takes practice, and we lose practice over the course of the summer, you
Yeah,
know?
I guess I always just say if unless you just moved here from Florida or something, then you should remember that. But I expect too much. How many people did you say responded to the survey? 30 some? No, or
37.
okay.
Hmm.
All right. But how do other people are directors alerted? Like when they said, and maybe I mentioned this when you said how we were having a meeting, but if they're not part of the listserv, and how would they know about I mean, is it sent
Well,
through the directors to remind them?
it wasn't.
Okay,
I
I
sent
don't
the
know. I don't know how the
survey.
communication.
I did not send it to just the reports
Okay,
list. I sent the survey to the general list, and
okay.
I mentioned it in a circulation meeting
Yes,
also.
that was it.
Um,
And I just wonder if if they don't see that, then to reach out to the directors and at least it's like, hey, did you know? But I don't know the chain of communication there. So yeah,
I mean, I think some people are just not inclined to respond, and that's okay. I do think that
yeah,
we got a good number
yeah.
of
Well, that's good.
responses. Let me put the link in chat actually. Well, I know, never mind. It's going to be
Hi, Tony.
we'll wait for people. It's not even 2 o'clock. So
I know.
hi, Tony. I mean, reaching everyone's always a challenge, and I feel like that's true no matter the
Yeah.
topic.
Oh,
Um,
right. I just never know because if they never on any kind of thread, how do they actually know about stuff that so yeah.
is constant. That's our boulder up the hill, and that's true for
Yeah.
just everything to do with sharing information in the consortium. Oh, I guess I should sign in. So I guess this Arctic blast is hitting everybody this weekend. How cold is it supposed to get?
I don't know, down in the 20s for us, but I bet old Tony, he's probably still in the 80s down there. Oh,
Oh, I'm not hearing you. Are you talk? Not hearing you, Tony. Hi.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. No, it's about 40 right now
Oh, that's a
here.
heat wave for here. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's supposed to get super, super cold and we just have
Hmm.
to deal with it.
Yep.
Weird. There. And then a weird light coming through my window shade here. It's right in my eyes.
Well, that's officially two. So, Heather, did you want to talk
Sure.
about the?
About the survey, let me share my screen. I know no one is judging the number of tabs I have open, so I'm just gonna share the whole screen. Okay, hopefully you're seeing the survey responses. So all of you should have had access um, to this spreadsheet. I think I sent it out with along with the original survey, but I think a little more helpful is the charts that you can see if you go into like the actual survey responses, which I'm not sure you can actually do from your end. So as I reported in the general meeting, we had 37 responses from 36 different libraries, which I think is pretty good actually. And there are clearly some reports that people would really like us to make. So this is probably small, so let me make it larger. There we go. So this was the list of specific report needs, and the red bar means libraries are interested in having it, and the green bar means I'm not sure. And so those are the two bars that I kind of want to pay attention to as we scroll across, because we can see that the green bar for the list of your library's -1 TCN items is very high, which is not overly a surprise because the negative TC1 has been a problem for the catalogers for time immemorial. So I think that's one that not only do we probably need to make a report, but we can work with the catalogers to share some information about what you should be doing with that report if as your library has the time and inclination. So going across, the tall red bar means that libraries would like it. So a template for items that are in specific statuses, which should be a very easy template for us to make and to pop into that folder, because we should be able to provide instructions that just tell a library, if you want to use this report, make a template and then add the status that you're interested in. So cataloging or mending or whatever, and then make sure that you've chosen your library as the filter. It should produce a list of those for you. And I believe probably many of us have this exact report going for our libraries at this time, but I think adding it to our reports folder and then sending out information about it would be welcome. Holds ratio is not as high, but some libraries are interested in it, and I know that those are now sent out. I'm sorry, those are now part of the standard reports package when libraries join. When migrating libraries come in, but for libraries who didn't get that coming in, they may have never had the opportunity. So I think that's one where we can even just copy the literal Equinox report that they give to my migrating libraries, and again provide a little bit of information about how libraries use it. Um, List of items in those circ mods. Some of these are just the cleanup reports that myself and I know Karen run for our libraries to make sure we're getting everything. So list of items with no circ mod, those are a problem because we need the circ mod for our various policies.
I
List
believe there is a report for that already because
is
I
it
used to run
shared?
it all the time. Yeah, I
I
think
just
it's in the Equinox one, but yeah.
I think maybe then just I think some of it is as we were discussing sort of topic before the meeting started. Some of it I think is just letting people know where they are, and
Mhm.
then just having a sort of like, I don't want to say form response, but a response for the reports committee when people write to ask about those things. We can say it's located here, and it's sort of a copy and paste, because no, it doesn't matter how many times you send out the information, somebody's always going to need to hear the information again. So that report probably does exist. I think just putting it into like a central location and sort of reiterating over and over again to the library is like where it is. So items with deposits, I think this one is really a problem for libraries that are first getting started on Evergreen. We had a big problem with it, and which has now been resolved because we have a weekly report that shows us all the things that are using deposits, so we can get rid of it. Monthly circ stats, list of newly registered patrons. That's another very easy one. Um, this one I think is interesting, the list of items using invalid age hold protection rules for your library, so that each library can say, send me a list of everything that's using these rules, because we don't use those rules, so we can make sure that we get those changed. And list of items without prices, and list of patrons using invalid patron groups for your library. There's high interest in all of those. And I think I have versions of all of these already. And Colleen, I'm glad to know that some of them already exist, so we can do a little comparison between the ones that Equinox has provided and the ones that some of the member libraries are using, so we can sort of cobble together like the best possible report. And then some of the suggestions down here, what other reports does your library need and not have? List of books, new books on hold protection that we can do. My libraries use it to pull things off of the new shelf as they become not new. So I think that we can easily provide. This one speaks right to my heart. I would like the reports templates better organized and best practices for storage of shared reports. Shared reports of miscellaneous libraries should be in one shared folder rather than a list by library, which of course is something that we've been all looking at together. Someone did report that they had issues with the PLS template, and just going to click back quickly. So the thing that I'm looking at is an aggregate of all the responses. But if we look here, we can see specific responses. So for the person that indicated that their library had trouble with the PLS templates, I was thinking of reaching out to them to ask them what the issue was and make sure that we can address that for next year, because I was really proud of the work that this committee did for the PLS templates this year. And of course, we want to make sure that that's something we can offer each year, because we've sort of done the hard work at this point. So as long as we could just keep those reports up to date, we should just be able to do a tiny bit of maintenance each year as we go on. So someone's requesting an updated report for their library. Again, I or someone on the committee can reach out to that library individually. Monthly circ by shelving location, which is easy. In-house usage, I think we can easily do. And then this person wants, I mean, everybody just has like specific things, which of course they do, because that's what reports are for, is like helping us find the issues in the system. This one's harder. I want a description of what each modifier that might not be within our scope, but I think we can maybe as part of the training, I think that we hope to do, provide sort of a list of major sources and likely fields, but I think what they're actually asking for would be the work of a lifetime, so that's probably a no for us. A couple people had ideas for reports that they'd like to share, and I think like a roundtable discussion would be fun amongst libraries about reports they're proud of and what they do with them and how other libraries can use those. So I encourage you to look through those and see if anything stands out to you. And then I was surprised by this response here. This is the our staff is interested in. And at the top here is custom templates from scratch, then modifying templates, searching for templates. Those are equal. Most people who responded are interested in both of those things. And then a little bit less for the other things. Simple reports training, which I thought would be a hit, is a little bit less popular. It's still I mean, that's still 3/4 of respondents. Discussion with other MEC libraries about what reports they use is like half of libraries are interested. And then someone suggested maintaining folders, which I think we saw in the responses there. So it does seem like modifying templates and searching for templates are the things that are most called for. And so I'm pretty pleased that both of those were already on our radar for information we want to provide to member libraries. Um, okay, I just talked a lot. What do other folks think?
I know when I'd say 90% of the time when I'm helping somebody, uh, it's I use the search feature in reports. I find the report that they want, but they didn't search for, and I send it to them. So uh, if everyone could just search for a report, I think they'd be happy.
Well, I try it on, and sometimes the search words, it doesn't come out as well as could be expected too. That's so I don't know. I think you have to know how to ask sometimes too. It's not like an any word type thing, and you keep using just a real general, and then have to drill down to find it instead of just because if you get too specific, it's like no results. And I mean that's just and I'm probably not doing it correctly, but I mean that's the success I've had with trying to just put in a general, circulation or just some kind of big word and then kind of just have to go through them. But that's just my experience. So
Marianne,
yeah.
that's the way it works. You're perfectly right.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with what you're saying.
Okay.
yeah.
Uh,
I think that's very
Yeah.
common experience. And some
Okay.
of that we're trying to mitigate, with the changes to folder sharing. That's sort of because should lessen some of the clone chaff that you see. But it's a very good suggestion, though. Is just like our first document is how to search for reports and best practices. Looking at the source and looking for looking at the date that a report was created.
Yes, and still not no, I mean, I know it's been cleaned up a lot because there was, so many of them in there that, all those people were using wrong ones because they were outdated and it wasn't the right, outcome. And so I'm still kind of PTSD scared of that because like, okay, is this going to be one? Is this a good one? And I obviously if you see the date on it, but the aged and archived circulations and all those kinds of things that have happened. I think it's still scary to like, okay, is this an approved report? And maybe, and I know you all have done way more work on it as far as cleaning it up and putting it into folders that say, so we know that there's an approved folder, to go to instead of having to, because when you search, you're going to get all the stuff. Well, not knowing how much is still in there could still be kind of confusing too. So, yeah.
There's so many pieces that work together. It's like an ecosystem. Well, if anyone doesn't have the link to this and they would like it, please let me know. But I was going to propose maybe a working session for our next meeting or before that if people have, I mean, I know it's the holidays and lots of people are out, but I think if we tag team it, I bet we could spit out like 5 or 6 templates into a new little folder and work on writing up a document together about how to use those reports. Since I know that some libraries already have those things, and I think if we take what every library has done and put it together, then new libraries don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Well, what's being put out by the CAN committee though, too? Isn't there a folder of reports that they're doing something with? Because they had asked for that, because I know, but I don't know
I
if
they were
that is.
working on an admin manual right now, but that's a good
Right,
suggestion.
but I thought that there was one, because I know after we had migrated and then they created the CAN report, it's like, oh, they want these. And so we're gonna come up with a list of reports and put them in this fold, to suggest. And I'm like, oh, I wish we would have had that. So but I didn't know if I guess that'd be a Mary Kay question or somebody else is on the CAN.
I
I
think
think
it's a
so, but
Mary
it's good to
Kay
know.
question, but if you
Okay.
look at the one, a Sarcoxy, yeah, that one, SAR reports, initial report set. Those are the
Okay.
ones that new migrating libraries will be getting. Now, they shouldn't be shared to the consortium, but that's a whole other issue. And the board did not allow me to, they allowed me to remove 5 of them. but the rest of them, they're still there. So those are the ones that the CAN committee recommended that each brand new library have.
Okay, so how does that work with what you're suggesting, Heather? I mean,
I mean, I
it,
think it goes hand in hand. It's
does
just
it?
about
Okay.
how we share it effectively to the group. So these literally have Sarcoxy in the name. I don't think incoming libraries would look at those and or I'm sorry, not incoming libraries because they're already getting the set, but I don't think older libraries would look at these and think that these are the answers. So literally cloning these, we'd have to vet them, but cloning these reports to a folder that is called initial reports and have that shared under the ME reports folder.
Okay, but these reports have been vetted so that we know that these are, I mean, I don't know.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Colleen, well,
Yeah.
they look,
That
the
was
names
before
of
my
them,
time. Sorry.
no, the names of them are identical to several of the ones that we got
Okay.
upon migrating, and Sarcoxy was about 6 months before us.
I
So
would
I think, yeah, I
assume that
think
they're
they all go hand
good,
in hand. Yeah.
but it probably wouldn't hurt if we were going to put them in the ME folder to run run a report with each of them and vet them ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Just my 2 cents.
Yeah. So that's the survey. We did not have overwhelming response, but I thought it was a pretty good response. And so I think some of this is pretty low hanging fruit because it already exists. All we have to do is write up some documentation, send out some emails, encourage people to look at it, which is always the hardest part. Oh, okay, I will stop sharing now.
So sorry, guys, I got here a little bit late, but maybe this is kind of a question for Colleen, but do you think even the number of people who responded to the survey, I mean, how many libraries out there are just like, I don't even understand anything about these reports. Like it's just too scary for them. And I mean, I think it would be that way for me, but I have Heather working on it, right? So, but for me, myself, right? I mean, I
I
totally get
don't
that.
disagree with you. I think reports scare people. And so you're having 37, I think, is wonderful. I mean, yeah, we know that means
Sure.
not quite 50. 50 libraries did not respond, but I think it's because they don't know what they don't know.
Right, right. Right.
So
I guess my point is if there were a bunch of libraries out there like I don't have any questions about reports because I'm on top of all of it, but you get a better sense of how people are with it than I do from here, right?
I get that people are scared of reports.
Okay.
And I get emails all the time from certain libraries. It's the same libraries whenever I was chair of Missouri Evergreen, way back when, that
Hmm.
I was writing, basically doing the reports for them, and I still am. So that
Okay.
didn't change. And so I think there's some of them that are just have no clue on any of it, on
Hmm. Hmm.
how to run a report.
Yeah.
And so they don't know what to ask and what they need.
Well, I mean, I guess that was the other question. Um, I mean, I imagine there are some libraries who aren't using reports that other libraries are using that are helpful in the management of the day-to-day, not just to answer the
Hmm.
annual survey questions or, PLS or whatever, but it's like, hey, you could get this report and would tell you this, and that would influence your, something that you're doing. But
Well, one of the things, a presentation that I plan on giving in the user conference is how to use a report to help with your collection development and
mhm.
using nonfiction age evaluation. And I've done it for Missouri Evergreen for 10 years, 15 years now, but that was my master's thesis was age evaluation and collection development. So
Nice.
and and so I've done it for a long time. But it requires one, you run a report.
Right, right,
And that the report gives you way too much information and how to filter that information in Excel.
right, right.
And so it might scare some people, but you can do it in 2 days. You can do an entire systems nonfiction
Yeah,
in 2 days,
yeah.
and it costs you nothing but your time. And then you can use that one to show to the board, oh, we've got a lot of current books, or we are way outdated. We need to spend more money. It helps your staff with
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
weeding and purchasing and what they're doing. So,
Yeah, no, I mean
but
that's a great example, right? There's probably a bunch of libraries who aren't doing that because,
they don't know
they
how.
yeah, they don't know how. It's a small collection. They don't think about it in that way. That's
And
a
if
perfect
you price it
example.
out with OCLC or somebody to do it for you, it's like, oh my goodness,
Right,
you
right,
can't afford it.
right.
Teaching books has a little bit of that in the children's side,
Right.
which which was very nice. I appreciated that. But adult nonfiction, yeah,
Right,
that's
right.
teaching books
Especially
is not
those
gonna
medical books and things like that. Those are the ones
five
that,
years pitch them or
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
but yeah.
when I when I think, yeah, it makes me sad that people are scared of reports because reports are not fun to learn. It's just so much iterating. I
Mhm.
mean, sort of, there's no shortcut for reports. Like you sort of do have to do everything the long way. At least that's how I learn. But I think that this committee can be critical in bringing libraries to at least like a basic understanding of where they at least feel comfortable asking for help or having the language to ask for help. And so when I feel like some of us, I sent out that email a couple of weeks ago about like what ideas, what can we bring to the table for helping the member libraries? And I think it was Karen's suggestion, was a reports help email that is similar to the cat help email. Because I don't think people want to send to the ME reports list to say, I don't understand. Like, I hate doing that. So I don't know if other people feel great about emailing what feels like ignorance like to a list. But if we had an email like report help, then when Colleen or Tony or one individual person got a request, they could say, actually, can you send it here? Because then several people can be looking at it and like we can help spread the work around. I know that Liz also gets emails about reports help. And I feel like if each of us are doing it a little bit, I wonder if we put it all together and have more of I don't know, like a book um, of documentation and responses, then we don't have to write individual emails each time, like that one person has received, just to spread the load.
Yeah, that seems like a great idea. I mean, there's always, as Heather knows, there's always some wacky report I'm asking her, hey, can we do this? Is there some way we could look at this? And you know,
I know that with the cat help email too, that's how Liz selects what are discussion topics for the cataloging group meetings because you notice trends and like, oh, everybody has questions about this month or like this is so it's really having that in one location is beneficial because then you really see what people are struggling with as a group.
Plus, then Tony doesn't have to receive 20 emails a week and then respond to all.
That's okay. They won't let me respond like I used to. So,
It shouldn't fall to you, you know. And if you're not able to respond, then you
yeah,
there should be another group of people um
yeah.
who can also help with that. So
Tony,
I
this
don't
is
know
the price
how
of being the OG man. You're
possible.
the original reports guy.
Well, on that subject, we do need to talk about who's going to be the new head of the reports committee. Uh, I know I would nominate Heather because you're very, as Heather's eyes widen, and but because you're very active and you know probably more than I do about
I
reports.
think I know what I don't know, but mostly what I know is that I'm swimming in deep waters.
Yeah. Uh, but someone's going to have to take over because they're not going to let me continue to do it. Uh, uh, um, I think I'm lucky to be able to continue to come to the meetings and help some as we go on. I know we've got the reports. We've got lots of plans going for the next year, but um, we do need to discuss it and get somebody who will uh, be in charge. Heather, I think you would be very good, but I don't know if I have the power to just say Heather should do it.
I'm curious about, yeah, I'm curious about the future of the committee more in general, and I'm wondering what the executive board and Colleen are thinking for the future. I mean, if I feel I'm really flattered that you would say that, and thank you. I'd have to talk with my directors, the same way that you had to talk to your
Oh yeah,
director
yeah.
initially. But yeah.
As
Yes,
far as the
absolutely.
future of, we would love to see the reports committee continue. However, hopefully sometime in the next fiscal year, we may be putting out for a new employee that would handle things from the reports committee, things from the circulation committee, and kind of match those two things together. I don't know what it's going to look like, and I don't know. That's one of the things we're talking about in these work sessions. Is we know we have to have employees. That there's no sustainable way to do it with 1.5 employees, not for the size of our consortium. But a lot of it depends on funding, how to attract the right people. And we are looking at all of that. We see the reports committee continuing, but in a little bit lesser role. So they're not, I mean, you guys are all volunteers. And that's what we're concerned about is this consortium as a whole is being ran for the most part by volunteers. And it's worked really well for us, but we don't feel it's sustainable. So we see the reports committee continuing and to help and helping on things, but not necessarily being the workhorse of Missouri Evergreen, which you guys have been. So, I mean, Tony's done a fantastic job, and Kyle Constant before him did fantastic jobs of, but it's a lot of time and it's a lot of effort. And I don't blame your director and your administration at Poplar Bluff saying, you need to step back a little. I totally get it. Because whenever I was chair of Missouri Evergreen, we didn't have a director or anybody. And so I know how much work that is and how much work it is to do that and a full-time job. And so what we're trying to do is take some of the burden off of our individual member libraries. That being said, we still see the reports committee continuing, just maybe not being the heavy workload that it has become. And what I'm asking from you guys this year. I mean, I have, I know that. So,
I mean, the committee I believe the committee will continue to exist. I believe the committee can continue to exist. Even if we don't have anyone who is able to step up as a head, we can still exist as a group. Although, I'll say, Heather, I think I, I will gladly talk to your directors if you want and say she's really good. She should do this.
I think too that there's several people that are capable, and there might be ways to split up some of the labor. And
Yeah.
Tony, I wish we'd done this sooner so that some of it didn't fall to you. But I think having a better sense of what the chair, what's the day in, day out, how do we post the YouTube videos and and the emails that you're answering. So the other things that you're doing, having the whole group have a sense of what those things are will be helpful for making sure we can cover those things in the future without you continuing to do them sort of because of inertia. And secondly, I'm curious about, like, we're an ad hoc committee, so there is not a bylaw procedure for how we replace the chair. And I'm a little curious about that.
Always before on ad hoc committees, we've allowed the committee to choose their own chair, and then the board is just informed that they have chosen a new chair. Is how we've done it before.
So
I know when
newbie
I came
question for
in,
me, and I've only come to a couple of these. Do we have a list of who's on the committee? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've never considered myself on it. I've come to a couple. I'm no expert in any report thing, but I know some of you I've seen before. I mean, obviously, Tony, everybody heard about you even before we were part of the consortium.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is there a committee for real?
I've always felt well, as of right now, it's myself, Heather, Mary Ann, and Karen are the, core members who are always here.
You're always there.
Are always able to contribute something. They are who I have written down on the list as members of the committee, but that's about um as far as well, I remember when I took over as committee chair, uh almost everyone who was on the committee at that time had to leave. So it became more of okay, I'm having these things every month, and maybe somebody's going to show up, maybe somebody's not. Uh, so um,
I will email my directors
okay.
and see what they think. And then depend I mean, I'm not even sure, but regardless of what they say, we still need to make sure that we are covering the all the duties that Tony used to take over, even if we split those among several people.
I mean, I had a library contact me earlier today. I just think I'm sure people are going to continue to send me emails because I may be the only person they know. They think, oh, I've got a report question. I'll send him an email. If we can get that overall email,
Yeah.
this is the reports committee email. If you have a question, you don't send it to just one of us. You send it to this email. Like you were saying, then I think that will take care of a lot of it.
I will work on that. Okay.
Okay.
I think even just can it be a Google? I actually don't know. I actually have never made one, but just like a Gmail distribution list.
I could do a Gmail distribution list, but I could probably do a reports committee, just like we have a cataloging committee help. But
Awesome.
I have never done that before. I've done distribution lists. And so I'll have to check into that, okay? But I will see what I can do.
Now,
Because if you do a distribution list, well, either way, we'd have to keep changing depending on who leaves and who comes, so it doesn't matter.
now there is a reports at MissouriEvergreenLibraries.org email. I should
Okay.
mention that. I don't think anything goes to it. I think it's just used to access things. But there is an email that exists.
Okay. I'll check into
Uh,
that and see if it's a true email or if it's a distribution list and who it goes to,
Because
besides you, Tony.
I know I have access to it. It allows me to access like uh um our Zoom, so we can get on Zoom and stuff. So if I can actually download something or something like that. So it does have some accessing. And I will
Yeah, I will.
copy it
I
into
didn't know
the
that, so
chat.
I'm learning something new. I will check that out.
I'll just put it in chat here. And I will have to dig in. I have it memorized on the computer, so I don't have to memorize the password. So I'll have to dig in and get you the password and send that to
Okay.
you.
Yeah, give me the password so I can see what I could do. And I might actually have a master password to it. That
It would
wasn't
not surprise
something,
me.
it wouldn't surprise me. It just is something Steve and I didn't discuss during our handover because obviously nobody's using it. So,
No, Tony, you were
It,
the only person getting those, and I'm laughing because I'm on an ALA committee, Colleen, and they were setting up the group, and then they set up a group, and then and all of a sudden it's like everybody's sending something to my old job, and somebody had grabbed the list from the year before, and I'm like, I don't work there anymore. I can't get these emails, so it's like, good luck to you, Colleen. I know it's so fun setting that stuff up and
oh
maintaining
yeah. Well, we finally got the board stuff on Google Drive. Megan couldn't get in touch, couldn't get it because she didn't have a Gmail address and it wouldn't let me
Yeah,
share it to her. We finally got that figured out at MPLD. So,
that is a beautiful thing right there.
I mean, I was sending her all the information by hand versus going through
Yeah.
the Google Drive, but it's like,
uh, I will pass along every bit of information I have. I,
okay.
I, I think, Heather, you may already have some of these sign-ins. I've shared them. Uh,
Yeah, I think I have I have the Emmy reports
yeah.
You have the Emmy
login.
reports one already? Okay.
I don't actually think I've ever used it,
Well, that's okay.
but I
It's all
will.
right.
Yeah. Karen, you
Uh,
have that one too, right? The
I
Emmy reports.
and Marianne, don't you have it as well? I thought I
I
shared it
thought
with
yeah, I
everybody.
thought it was to a group.
Yeah, did it have to do with the PLS stuff?
I think so.
When
Yeah,
we
when
were
you could.
testing
Yeah,
that or something? Yeah,
Hmm.
think so.
yeah. It's better not to have that just in one place because it could easily be lost if it's just one person.
That's right. If you get hit by a bus or you slip on some ice.
Yeah, let's not get hit by buses.
Let's not slip on ice. I don't want cold.
No. Yeah, more likely to slip on ice this weekend.
Yeah. I'm headed down to your neck of the woods this weekend. And
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
fun.
no, it's going to be cold and icy. But
Well, I don't know about the icy. I know it's going to be cold, but I don't know if we're going to get any weather.
I hope not.
Hopefully not.
But
Uh,
we got to check out our cabin there in Donovan and make sure it's prepared for the winter.
but yes.
I don't want frozen pipes.
No. Uh, Heather, I know you, I believe you were at the discussion yesterday about um,
Yeah.
widgets and
Oh,
dashboard.
the dashboard
Yes,
presentation.
I was
I
at that. I
was.
want to hear about that because I had
Yeah,
a conflicting meeting.
I
yeah.
I look forward to seeing a little more of it. The graphs that were shared, um, they were pretty simple, but I think that's fine. The I liked where the conversation was going. Several of the people had feedback that said, basically they'd like more kind of like to the minute stats to just like keep an eye on things like how many pending holds do we have right now, how many holds on the hold shelf, and how many checkouts so far today. Just the kind of things that like at CERC we're always checking to make sure things are flowing smoothly. The dashboard, I took snips. See if I can find them. The dashboard's
Yeah,
being created by Scott Angel
yeah.
from
Mobius.
who I've never worked with.
No.
But it's a little dashboard where, in theory, the workstation where you are logged in, it's pulling Circ stats for the last several months or several days, and they were getting feedback about what people think about it. And of course, like the feedback from the group was like, well, we want this also, and we want this also.
This, and we want this.
So I felt a little bad for them because of course then everyone started creating like a wish list of what they would like. The look of it was totally functional. I'm trying to see if I can find the screenshots that I pulled. But they also recorded it.
Yeah.
So folks should be able to watch it afterwards, although I do not know where they post, don't know where they post those things.
Yeah, I don't know where to find the recording of the event, but I have screenshots also.
Oh, you do?
I
Nice.
downloaded the chat. So if anyone was interested in reading all of the many things people want it, they can read
Question
that.
for you. Were they looking for other consortiums to help develop it, money to develop it?
I don't believe so.
I didn't hear an
Because I
ad
mean, we
like that.
paid Equinox to help, along with several other consortiums, to develop simple reports. They actually had a dashboard that they wanted to develop too, but we were so disappointed with the with simple reports that Missouri Evergreen did not commit money to do the dashboard because we didn't like where it was headed. If Mobius, where they're headed, is something they would need funds and investment for, we do have a development fund out there. That, Shannon, Kate and I were talking about that this morning. We could use some of the funds for that, but two things go into that, and I didn't even know if they were just developing on their own money, or whether they were needing help from other consortiums.
No discussion of money that I overheard.
Mhm.
It seemed to me like they were very much soliciting, hey, is this what
What do
you
you
want?
want? Yeah, what do
Do
you
you
want?
want something else? We want to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
It was interesting. I understand the value of what they're trying to do.
Mhm.
At the moment, I mean, I think it's early in the development.
It's early
It's,
yet. Okay. That was one of the things I was why I kind of wanted to attend, but I had another meeting that I couldn't get out of. But it's like, if they're looking for developmental fund, we could possibly, um, I'd have, the board would have to look at that, but, you know, that's why we have those funds, is to develop different components within the Missouri Evergreen, not within the Evergreen community, the broader community, not just Missouri Evergreen.
well, if anyone's interested in the chat or to see some of the
Send me the chat,
screen
would you
caps,
please, Tony? I'd appreciate that.
Colleen, I'll send you the chat. I'll make a note.
Because I was looking into Library IQ and as adding it, but with the way our shelving locations are, until we can get a handle on it, it doesn't work. But actually, I'm going to share my screen and show you what I have been working on. Have to be real quick because I've got to hang on. I got another meeting here in just a little bit. Get out of my way. Okay. Can you see that? The shelving location groups?
Yes, we can.
These are done at the consortium level so far. And it is very, very rough draft. Please, it is rough draft. I've got adult material, children material. I'll add teen, and I'll add others. And then I will have there's some that I have no idea what they are. So I'm going to have Equinox create two reports. One is a report of shelving locations that are not attached to one of those four, which we'll need for maintenance anyway. And then the other one is a count of circulation from X library in those. So conceivably, you could pull one report and get a count for your library that would show those four areas that you need for PLS circulation. Because those are the only four that you need on the PLS as it currently stands. Is adult material, children material, teen, and other. And Cody said that Corey, sorry, my husband's employee is named Cody. Other, is more your technology, that kind of stuff, and the STEAM kits. And there's a lot of things that I am not exactly sure that this is where they will wind up in their final iteration. It's like Poplar Bluff's digital obituaries. Does that go to I've got it in adult right now. But does it go to adult or does it belong in others? There are several things that I'm not sure yet of where they're finally going to go. And so I thought I would start playing around with it and see if it's going to work. And then if it works, then we'll see what else we can do. But so yeah, I've got adult material and children materials pretty much in here right now. And then a lot of things that don't have categories because I'll have to individually email those libraries and say, hey, what is this? Where do you count it on your PLS? So, and anything that is mixed audience like DVDs right now, I am putting in adult. Like this DVD doesn't have a category yet. They don't, some libraries break it down, some libraries do not. But we're already having to make those decisions as directors. Where do you put them on the PLS? So right now, I've just shoved all those into adult categories because more than likely, more of it checks out that's adult. So I am working on that. I've actually did quite a bit of that today. And we'll see. I mean, there is over 4,000 shelving locations. And we'll see. I said we'll have to have two companion reports to go along with it. And Equinox has told me they'll be happy to make those reports for us. So it's a thought, and we'll see if it works. It may not. And in which case, then it's easy to just delete those shelving, those groups. So,
I applaud your effort.
well, I know
I think it's a good
as a
thing.
director, I struggled with this. And it's like, okay, I'm only going to be here for another year and a half. I want to at least leave something good whenever I leave, but we'll see.
Oh, that time is just fungible, Colleen. Maybe it's more than a year and a half.
My husband says no. He is he will actually he actually wants to retire, but he doesn't want to retire until,
Sure.
he's got a year and a half on his list. So
I was gonna make some other crack, but maybe that's just totally
I
inappropriate.
I understand. Well, I gotta go. I've got the Bonterre migration meeting. So hopefully Bonterre will be coming out. So and then tomorrow I have Sedalia. So all right, you guys have a nice day, okay?
Take care.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye, Colleen.
Bye.
Um, Vaguely related, I wanted to mention I submitted a presentation idea for the user conference. My working title is called Wrangling Reports. Still working on my puns, but I was thinking about like lassos and ponies and things. But it's going to be about searching for templates, cloning templates, folder management, most exciting, all the most exciting reports topics. So if anyone else really wants to hop in on this, you're more than welcome to join me. I will add your name to my proposal. You can think about it too. You
I'd
don't
be
feel
glad to
pressured.
take a look at it. I think it'd be
Yay.
fun.
Okay.
Are you going to wear a costume? Is that required if we say we would be interested?
Now that you've said that, I feel like sure I'll get myself one of those tiny hats.
Yeah, cowboy hat and
One of us can dress as a cowboy and the other one can dress as a cow.
Well, I clearly know what role I would be playing in that. And
But I know that Colleen mentioned her session, which is like a specific report, specific usage, and mine is going to be much more general and focused on not on simple reports, but on standard reports.
that sounds wonderful.
It's perfect right now because it's just an idea, so that's when perfection is achieved.
Heather, if you need like a case study for an unorganized reports ecosystem, I will send you screenshots of my own and my complete the report named inventory line item cost clone.
You know what? If you send me your maximum number of clone report, that would be
Yep,
perfect. I have a feeling that your clutter is still an organized clutter. Like you know where those things are.
That's not good.
I can send you all of the old report things I've done.
I remember your session last year. You did one about relative dates that was very helpful.
That's the old stuff, yeah.
Mhm.
But it won't be usable.
I'll have you as my draft supervisor. I've created the PowerPoint, but that's basically where I'm at. I'm trying to think, should we try to do a working session and get reports templates into a folder, or should we just do that together during our next session? I guess we should ask if anybody has reports questions they want to ask.
Yeah. Anybody out there have any reports questions? Anything they'd like us to confuse them about? I'm assuming no, since no one's saying anything.
Yeah, it sounds like I don't see anything in chat either. Does anybody have a report that they trust that pulls information about the patron's most recent dates of checkouts or holds? I'll keep talking so everyone can think about it. But in our previous ILS, we had a concept that was called activity, last activity date. And activity meant checkouts or holds or pack logins or a SIP check. So that would be like Overdrive, Overdrive usage, Hoopla usage, and logging into our computers on PC-Res. And I could pull a report that said, show me patrons who have been active in the last 12 months or not active in the last 12 months. And we looked at that date in conjunction with expiration date as a way to tell that a patron's account was no longer being used. The closest that I have found is that I can pull individually date of most recent checkout and date of like most recent hold, but not a field that unifies those concepts into one. Even the last, what's the one that's on the patron account? It's called like last activity date or
Yeah.
last date of last activity. And it's general. It doesn't cover like checkouts and holds, but it does cover SIP checks, which is still useful. And I am just not able to find that field anywhere in the ILS user source.
Hmm.
It is called last activity. Sounds like that is a no, and there's a legit question from someone else in chat, so we should move on to their question.
Well, I think the yours was a good question too.
Well, I think my
We'll just
question is
have
more
to
like, does anyone have
work
one
on
they
it.
already like for this? Because I think that the like searching around for it is the time consuming, and I don't mean to like take up our time together by us all doing a bunch of individual searches for it.
ILL. Send out an ILL. I don't know of a report. I'm sorry to say for ILL.
Heather, I think it depends a little bit on how you have set up your ILL program, because so when you check I'm assuming these are things that you're sending out through OCLC, or are you talking about things that you sent out to other Evergreen libraries?
Other Evergreen.
Okay.
I just called it
that's
ILL. Yeah.
No, you're right. It is ILL, and in my mind, though, it's like so hard to.
Separate, yeah.
I think there is one that's like overdue.
the evergreen ones, yes.
Okay.
Items overdue. I see several about overdue items. I'd have to look at them to see which one is the best.
Okay.
I searched, so I have gone to, actually, I'll just share my screen. As long as again, it's so many tabs. I know, friends, it's really getting out of hand. Okay, so here's my screen. Hopefully you're seeing a list of Evergreen reports.
Yes.
And what I did is I went to my search tab here, and I've just searched for overdue items, which, as Marianne said, you just sort of pluck a term out of a hat, do the best you can.
Okay.
And I'm interested in what other people think too, but what I'm doing is I'm not just looking at the name and description, I'm looking at creation date. And so I'm looking for things that were created pretty recently. Owner being Equinox is helpful because that theoretically means it was created by support. And then after I verify that I trust those two things, then I look at the name and description of the report to see if I think it will cover what I need. So items overdue by month at selected circulating library with owning library selection. I think this one could be good as long as the is you're able to select multiple libraries in your filters. Because what you will probably want is a report that shows everything that your library owns that is overdue at every other library that's not your library.
Yes.
Which means we're going to be relying on the circulation library. Oh, and now I see a red flag. This says circulation. And we want a report that is using the source aged and active circulations. So I would actually not use that one, which means you got to go back. Item. So that's kind of my thinking when I'm looking at reports. What do other folks do when they're searching and trying to evaluate?
I'm gonna email you.
Heather, you're doing exactly what should be done. I mean, it's just we're still going to run across reports that are not accurate, sadly. And this is one I would probably wind up trying to build.
Yeah, why is my date created sort being very strange. Oh my gosh. It does not go in order of date. It goes in alpha order. So it's doing 1, 27, 25, then 10, like because 10 comes after 1, and then 11 comes after 10. You guys, I'm snipping that. I have a list of things that, are like bugs me a little bit. Ta-da! Snip, capture, save to. That's not, I don't like that. Why? Okay. That's why already exists. Do I want to replace it? Why too? That's an embarrassing series of events. Yeah, so I think what this might be one that we, like Tony was saying, that we would have to build, but I think probably looking at oh, here's one that I apparently use, MLC report. So to take a look at it, I'm just right-clicking clone report, and then I'm just taking a peek at what's in here. And this also uses circulation, and this is mine. So I need to locate that and mark it.
Heather, I do wonder if in this particular instance it's okay to use circulation because they're actively checked out, so they wouldn't have aged. I know we for counting circulations, we always want to use aged and active, but in this particular instance, that might still be an okay report if that logic actually makes sense.
I mean, it does.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this is got, in that case, let's just see what this one looks like. It's showing the shelving location, item barcode, the due date, the patron ID who has it checked out, the circ mod. Boy, I have a lot of stuff on here. The item status. Oh, it looks like I wasn't sure whether to use item status name or item status ID. So I went with the shotgun approach and used both of them, which is a common thing I do when I'm not sure which field to use. I just add them all. And then I've got my filters, item status, and list. So I'm sure I'm doing checked out, lost, due date on or before, owning library in list. And then transaction finish time, null, location ID in list. This one's kind of weird. I might run this, Heather, before I actually send it to you and make sure
Okay.
it gets reasonable results. Oh, Tony put one in chat as well.
Okay, is that a different one?
I believe so.
I think I might have misunderstood. This question came to me from our Circ, and it might be more like they might even we've sent out items that libraries have renewed a lot. And yeah, that's what kind of the ones we're wanting to find. So they wouldn't even be overdue. They would just be more like how long if they've had it for a really long time.
I still think that the report that Tony sent and the one I sent, I still think they would do it because overdue is not an item status.
Okay.
So I think that's more like a concept we're working with and that your Circ people are working with, because I think, well, mine at least, and probably that one too, pull on the age of the original checkout.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So I still think these might work, even though I hear what you're saying about the renewals. I wonder if there could be a report that would show how many like if someone had renewed something like 5 times.
Yes. That's really more of what we're needing.
I mean, I know you can see how often something's been renewed.
Worse than people are just gonna change the due date.
Change their strategy. They're going to be edit due date people.
I mean, nobody would do that, of course, but
of course not. Tony, do you know where that is in this particular source? I mean, I know where you can see it on the items out list.
Let me go into Webby and see if I can hunt it down.
That's not it.
Let's see.
Parents. No. Yeah, I'd have to poke around for that. Um, yeah. So I think using the one Tony put in chat, I'll also run this one just because now I'm curious if it works. And if it doesn't, I should probably clear it out of my list.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Let's see. I'm just trying to hunt and find if I can see where renewals lives in the circulation or the aged circulation. I know I've seen it done. Probably, probably I just have to do hunting for it as I can. I don't know if I'd have time for us to do it on here because it'd go on forever trying to hunt that down.
Heather, will you remind me your library? Because I want to
Putnam
run the
County.
report for your collection.
Thank you, Putnam County.
Putnam County. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, it is 3:05, and I feel like do we have any more questions? Oh, we lost Krista. She secretly disappeared. I'm sure people had meetings at 3. So
yeah, we've probably done as much as we can in today's meeting, I expect.
Yeah. All right.
I'm now just trying to figure out how to get the count of renewals.
Yeah, it's in there. I'll find it and I'll share it with everybody if I can find it.
It's always in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm making a note to myself to email Heather because my report does in fact work on due date, and I want to instead modify it so that it works on checkout date.
Awesome. Well, I think we're probably good for today. If everyone's all right. I wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Hey, you too.
You
Happy
too.
New Year.
See you in January.
Yeah.
See
you next
Tony,
year.
I might message you to see what the process is for getting the YouTube videos edited and uploaded. I don't know if you usually do that or.
Well, the trick is I can get on YouTube. I can sign into YouTube. I don't have permission to upload anything, so I have to send it to. That's something that needs to change. We need permission to actually directly upload. I always have to send it to
Ron.
yeah, and Sykeston.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he takes care of it.
That's really nice of him.
Yeah. I'm saying we should be able to do that. Just let us do that.
Yeah. Well, then I guess we will just not worry about it this time anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
happy holidays. See you all next
happy
year.
holidays,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.